Hello and welcome to the Checkpoint Reach podcast. I'm your host, Luke Eldon, and today I'm joined by Sir and once again our special guest, THC. Troy, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, Luke. Thank you guys for having me back. Let's break down this Xbox event.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
We're happy to have you back because obviously you were on last week for our prediction show of the Xbox Series X games showcase. And we got you back on to give your thoughts on the overall event. So we probably shouldn't waste any time and jump right in, boys. Starting with Halo. What did you guys think of Halo's Infinite gameplay then?
Well, I think for me anyway, I don't know about for you two, but this was probably the most disappointing part of the show for me.
Overall?
Yeah, I think this was the most disappointing part. Yeah, I do because
coming hot.
I do think it was disappointing because this was the game that everyone was looking forward to before the show. You ask most Xbox fans or any fans really, what game are you looking for most out of the show? It's Halo. So for me, it just didn't show well. The game didn't show very well. It looks dated. It didn't look, to be honest, it didn't look next gen. It hardly looked this gen, to be honest, a lot of what we saw. So, it was the visuals, obviously, are the main talking point. I'm sure you've seen the memes of Craig the Brute.
The Brute memes. Yeah, that's the one thing where I didn't notice it while watching the actual trailer, but oh my God, the Brute memes are going around. His face looks like flat and untextured. Just like, I don't know. So overall, I was like, I want to play this game. Yeah. So I can't say it was a disappointment for me. There was a lot of stuff that did look weird, flat textures. Some of like the rock artifacts just looked, I don't know. They didn't quite seem to fit into the environment.
No.
And there was few lighting issues where like characters were just like way too bright, like in the shadows and stuff like that. But overall, the open world gameplay loop, that does look fun for me. Just being able to explore secret areas and there's upgrades and stuff like that. Like that's what I saw on the menu. I was excited for how much is Master Chief going to evolve throughout the game? You know, sort of like Doom or whatever.
Yeah. I think to be fair, I think I should probably elaborate on what I said. I think the gameplay looks fine itself. Like I think it looks like it'll be fun to play. You know, it'll be like I don't think I'd go through it thinking, "Oh, this is terrible to play," but it's kind of, I don't like saying it because it feels like a point where it's like, well, games are for playing, not for looking at. But at the end of the day, the visuals just put me off so much. I just thought they were so subpar. Like,
I'm really hoping it's not done yet. You know,
no, I hope that's an old build. I really do.
They said that was running on. They said that was running on a PC.
Yeah, so it's not even running on the Series X. So apparently, I don't know if there was any game that was running on the Series X at this whole event, which is really strange.
Oh, really?
Apparently, they're all running on PCs. So, which is a common practice, but
for Halo, but
yeah, it is a common practice. Xbox have done this before, where they've run games on PC.
Easier to record on PC.
Yeah, but it's a little bit disappointing. You want to see the Series X footage. I mean, that's what the event's for at the end of the day. But yeah, I think, like you said, I think the gameplay itself. I think I will probably enjoy playing it when I do play it. But I just really hope that visuals are improved because some of the close-ups were bad. There's no getting away from it. They were bad.
I think I'm not as I mentioned on the prediction show, I'm not a massive Halo fan. So when I was sat there watching it, I wasn't really disappointed or interested in a way, really. I was just kind of like, all right. To me, it looked like, they've harkened back to the old style visuals of the Halo franchise. And I saw a bit of a divide online, actually, with some people saying they love it, that they've gone back, it feels retro, like the old Halo, and I saw other people essentially saying what you said, sort of about the graphics, it's not good enough for 2020 or whatever. But it looked to me like a Halo game with the gameplay. It looked fast, it looked fun. But like I said, because I'm not a fan and invested in the series, I wasn't sat there really disappointed or too interested. So I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence with it.
Yeah, if you're not like a committed fan, it probably just looks like another open world, first-person shooter kind of thing. But I do like the classic kind of art style where they're not the art style per se and the texturing, but the way that they're throwing old notes and stuff at the original game, just trying to make it look like the second level of Halo 1.
Yeah, they've definitely gone for more of a Halo 1 vibe. I mean, it's kind of like back to the roots. To me, the gameplay looked like a mixture between like Halo 1 and Halo 3. They were trying to go for that, like, because to me, I think
I get a lot of Halo 3 vibes.
Really?
Not much. Not much. No. Maybe
okay, well, I just thought
the design of the brutes and stuff a little bit.
Yeah,
just having them. That's the Halo 3 vibe I get.
Yeah, the character models were more like what you saw in 3. I think the environments themselves, the openness of the environments were clearly from 1. I mean, you know, that what they showed in that trailer could have easily been from 1, and there's very similar environments in 1 to that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that's fine. I just, I don't know if because this open world fatigue thing, I just don't know if I wanted Halo to go down this route. I don't know. I mean, we'll maybe it'll work well.
Yeah, we're all fans of actually linear games. Like, we like them. So to see one of the most linear game franchises ever go do all these checkpoints, go to this, all these environments, and go look around and loot.
I just hope the story doesn't.
Does that worry you, Troy?
It doesn't worry me because from what I saw, the gunplay looks solid, looks absolutely solid. And all in all, I'm going to be there for the multiplayer in the long run. So everyone was kind of picking apart the campaign trailer. I'm sitting there like, all right, which of these parts are going to be in multiplayer? Are we getting all these brute guns in multiplayer? Will that grapple work the same way? Doubt it. Really doubt that'll be used for movement really at all in multiplayer. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't know because the meat of what I'm going to be playing, they didn't show like we said they wouldn't. And I'm sitting there like after watching it, I've like a hole in my heart where I'm like, I need to know more now because this didn't quite satisfy me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that was a weird way of saying it, but
no, it makes sense.
I think my worry would be with the openness is I don't know if you two feel. I always feel when games go down this route of openness and you can do what you want. I always think the story suffers. Sometimes
happened with Mass Effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think like I just wanted a more direct story from Halo. But you know, I mean, I can't really say at this point because I mean it could be the best Halo story we've ever seen. Who knows? But I do worry when it's like, right, what was it like? Right, go and sort out the 3 gun emplacements and stuff like that. And it's like,
the AA guns.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that style of. It seemed a bit generic to me. That it was like, that's a little bit generic, but we'll see. I mean, that was from halfway through the game. That footage.
Halfway through, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
No, I didn't know.
So
what
clearly things happened beforehand.
Confused about is the entire game going to be centered around this one ring, right? Because one of the main things about Halo is like going to different missions, and they're all very, very different. I feel like if there's one ring, the biome or the environment looks just like the second level from Halo 2. Are we going to get fatigued of that and want to go blow up the spaceship somewhere?
Yeah, that would be a little bit worrying. I think it is clearly the whole game is clearly centered around that Halo ring. I mean, we know that even from the box art, you can see the rings visible there in the background. So yeah, we'll see. I guess I would like some more varied environments. I don't want it just to be like because the thing about Halo 1 is as revolutionary as that game was, a lot of the environments did get a bit samey.
Yeah, true.
Which is fine because it's a game from 2001. I mean,
yeah,
things have advanced.
Give it a pass. Yeah,
but I don't think in 2020 that's acceptable. 19 years on to just
What if they have like some crazy weather system that'll just change, like cover the entire map in snow? I kind of doubt that because games really don't do like proper dynamic weather besides like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption on Christmas when they make it snow.
Yeah.
But like to like, for a lot of people, it's remaking the entire map with a snow texture or whatever. So I think that ring will probably be divided up a little bit more so the sections don't feel like just one big green same world,
Yeah.
I hope
possibly.
So.
Well, hopefully, yeah,
so.
because obviously you don't want people to be using that against you, and you want people to stay invested in the actual world that they're playing in, especially if it's an open world. I mean, if it's too samey in open world, I think people would switch off pretty quickly, even with it being Halo. But yeah, so overall, Sud, you're disappointed with Halo, and Troy, you're wanting more.
I'm optimistic, and I liked what I saw.
Yeah,
gripes aside. Of the texturing and lighting is my only big problem.
Yeah, well, that's a good start then with you guys obviously different direction.
Slightly different.
Hey, but you know, at the end of the day, it's what I also seen online, and you guys are big Halo fans, so not everyone's going to be pleased with what they've seen. But moving on, then, so we also got that State of Decay 3 was announced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that was such an interesting trailer because when I first saw that, I was like, "Wow, this looks amazing."
It looks scary as hell. It looked damn scary. That shot at the end, I was like, dude, I didn't need to see that, but I'm also want to see more of it at the same time.
Well, it's funny because when I first saw the first 5 seconds, I was like, this is like a trailer you'd see at Sony show. Like high detail, sort of cinematic.
It was sort of one of the better looking trailers now that I think back to it. Yeah.
My only problem is with this is it's like as soon as you see State of Decay 3 and it's like, yeah, I remember the first 2 State of Decays though, and is this really what the game's going to look like? I don't think so.
Yeah, you know, and it kind was trying to make it look like a super detailed story game, but like what I remember from those games is they were only fun if you played it with like 4 of your mates.
Yeah.
Like drunk or something. Like it wasn't like a big story adventure.
No. It's more like it's like The Walking Dead, isn't it? It's kind of like The Walking Dead type, you know, survival and
Division sort of.
Yeah, factions and things like that.
Is that the one me, you, and Matty played?
Yeah,
The Division?
we played it on Game Pass.
No,
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2.
Did you like it, Luke, or no?
No.
Didn't like it,
me and Matty, friend of the show, we were playing with Sud, and we got a bit bored. Just got a bit bored, a bit too quick, and then we left. But you, I think you enjoyed it.
I didn't mind it. Yeah, I ended up playing it for quite a while. Like I wouldn't say really addicted, but I had a couple of days where I was playing it for a couple of days, quite a lot.
I really liked the lighting on that game. Like they had like really decent like sunsets and shadows. Like it had a good overall look.
Yeah, I don't think the graphics were the problem with the game. Really, I think the main problem with the game was just technically it was a mess. Absolute mess technically. I mean, there's so many, but do you remember, Luke, some of the bugs and some of the cars disappearing, cars flying up in the air?
That was the one that
the driving was just the cars would just blow up for no reason, and it was
that's fun.
It's one of them. I think it's one of them games. If you're willing to overlook its flaws, then you can have a lot of fun with it. But I just I do hope though with this one that, you know, with Microsoft's money behind them after being bought on Dead Labs, you'd hope that they can make this into a, you know, if this game's got double or triple the budget of the second one, then it could be something special. I mean, the trailer was really good. I have my doubts whether the game will look that good. I just don't believe it.
It really tells us nothing about the game besides that there might be snow. And
and there was a mad, what was it, a stag or something, or
Oh, kind of looked like a bear,
stag,
but I think it was a stag.
I don't know what it was, but
like the Fallout red stags or something.
Yeah, it looked a bit like them, but I thought it was a decent. I thought it was alright.
Yeah,
is it
decent trailer?
Game that
gotta see more.
You guys are gonna play?
I'd give it a go. Yeah,
gotta see more.
It's gonna be on Game Pass, so
no gameplay, no buy. Yeah. Definitely not pre-ordering it.
No, 100% not.
But yeah, it seems like it'll be like a Game Pass staple, kind of like State of Decay 2 was. But it'll be interesting if they move away from the whole AA to like it's a AAA badass game now.
Well, as we know, like every single game of the show is going to be on Game Pass. So
yeah, true.
You can play them all if you want, if you've got a Game Pass subscription. So
true.
You know,
I think I agree with Troy though. Going from State of Decay 2 anyway, it was a game that you needed to play with a few of your mates to have a real enjoyable experience, in my opinion. So I think it would be the same for State of Decay 3, and given the fact that half our mates aren't going to have Xboxes, I don't think I'm going to play it, to be honest, son. So
yeah, probably not, maybe not.
After that show, maybe more than half.
Yeah,
who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But next, Forza Motorsport revealed.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's Forza, isn't it?
And hey, we called the rebrand. We're like, they're not going to call it
Forza Motorsport. Yeah. Call it Forza Motorsport, which I think is a good idea. I think that's a good idea because, you know, once it gets past about 5 or 6, you look a bit silly then, don't you? Keep calling.
And it's kind of what Xbox was doing this year. Like they didn't call it Halo 6.
No,
you know,
true.
They're building a platform. They want like these big games not to be like yearly releases. You know,
I've got to say I don't like that term. It always fills me with a little bit of sinking feeling when they say Halo's now a platform, Forza's now a platform. It's like
it reminds me of Destiny 1, where they're like, you can play Destiny 1 for 10 years.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
$60 every couple of months.
I really don't like it, but I don't think there's much to say about Forza. I don't know about you two, really. It looked pretty good, but I mean, again, how are you supposed to tell because it's mainly CGI? I mean, there was a little bit of gameplay in there, but mainly CGI. I'm sure
it's like those weren't in-game cameras. No way. All the angles they were using. No.
What I found strange as well. That I think this was the part where Phil Spencer came on for the first time, wasn't it? And he said this game was early in development, which I was like, really?
They didn't show off that much, didn't they? Show off like 50 seconds, pretty much, and a logo.
Yeah, but it's like you think a Forza game would launch with the console, wouldn't you?
Maybe they were. It would be a good launch title, but maybe they were helping out Playground Games or something with Fable.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe helping them with Forza Horizon or something. The next Forza Horizon, maybe. But I don't know. I just think that's a little bit strange. That I don't know. I just think strange. I don't know about you two. I think it's really strange that a Forza game isn't launching with the console. It's just weird that it's like you just expect Forza to launch with the console, don't you? Really?
That trailer didn't make a lot of buzz. Like people aren't overly talking about it. I hear more people talking about Dirt 5 than that.
Yeah. I think it's just because
before.
It's a track racer, isn't it? And what more can you do for a track? It's like the Gran Turismo trailer. It was like, it looked fine, but it's like, well, it's just a track racer. What more can you say, really?
True. Yeah, true.
So, I don't know. I don't know about you two. It's a game I'd probably maybe try if it was on Game Pass. Just why not? Because it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I like the graphics that they're going with. It looks super nice. It had me being
it'll look great.
It'd be nice if these guys made an F1 game instead of Codemasters. The way they have the design, it looks nice, but I don't know. Yeah. I just can't get super excited for like endurance cars and just lapping. Definitely. I don't know why.
Definitely.
No, I'm the same.
So we can move on swiftly from that one then. So, well, actually, the next game they showed, I don't know what you think about this. It's probably one of the better games I thought of the show. This next game,
Everwild,
which was Everwild. Yeah, from Rare.
It looked all
I thought it was interesting, personally. I like the graphic style they went for. It looked like Breath of the Wild to me.
Oh, you had known about that one before the event. I didn't, so I was just like, oh, okay.
I thought
the art style though.
I got vibes of Breath of the Wild from Zelda. It gave me them sort of vibes with the sort of all the animals and all that. I thought I do like them sort of games. They're more relaxing, aren't they? Just a relaxing. It seems like a game that it'd be more relaxing to play.
I couldn't tell if it was a single player game or a multiplayer game because throughout the trailer I was like, who's the main character? It kept switching perspectives to like the couple and then the girl with the white hair. They just kept.
I think it's going to be a 4-player co-op.
That's what it looked like
because there was 4 people, wasn't there? Like, there were always 4 of them. I don't. The problem with this game is we don't know what it is.
I have no idea.
Like you don't know what it is. Like most of the, we'll probably say this a lot for the trailers. We don't know what it is because
it's Rare's game, right?
Yeah, this is Rare's game. Yeah. But I just think it looks like a game that'd have a lot of potential in terms of. It just caught my eye. It's one of them games that you just go, oh, I really like the art style of this game. It looks. It looked really nice.
A lot. That's like so much of what we can comment on today because like almost nobody showed off like proper gameplay besides Halo. Yeah, there really wasn't a lot when you think about it.
No, I just think this is the sort of game that it just I don't know. I keep coming back to it, but it just gave me Zelda vibes and with the art style of Breath of the Wild, which is never a bad thing because that game's a beautiful game. I guess we'll quickly go over the Outer Worlds DLC, which I kind of like the fact they're doing DLC.
I think it looked pretty good.
It looked like Outer Worlds, didn't it? Like funny, kind of a bit zany, a bit wacky.
I almost didn't realize it was an Outer Worlds DLC until I saw the dude with the circle head. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense that they're finally doing a DLC.
And that's coming out on September 9th, so I'm actually probably going to pick that up because I really enjoyed the Outer Worlds.
Are you done with the games to where you're like, I need more?
I finished the Outer Worlds, I finised it. So
okay,
I'm looking. I'll probably pick that up because I enjoyed it. So yeah. What else? They showed that Grounded game again. I really don't care about that game.
The joke though they made was hilarious.
The joke was funny with like what was it like?
Waiting for the biggest game of the year.
Oh yeah,
Cyberpunk 20.
Cyberpunk. Yeah. That was good. I gotta say, considering Considering I have no interest in the game, that was quite funny.
Exactly. All of us are sitting here like, I don't care. Made a joke. I was like, okay, ha ha ha. Next. Yeah, it was so funny.
But yeah, Grounded. Whatever. Don't care. I care more about their next game, to be honest.
I was surprised.
Yeah, which was so Obsidian. After that, they revealed their next RPG, which is going to be called Avowed. And that was the kind of one that started with the arrow.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's more like it for me with the show. That's what I want to see, things like that. I want to see new things. I want to see Obsidian making a new RPG because, as we know, Obsidian have made some great RPGs in the past.
And it looked very, very Skyrim.
They did,
They did Outer Worlds as like a Fallout killer, or we can make this type of game quicker than you type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're like, hey, you guys are gonna mess around with Elder Scrolls 6 for like 4 more years. We're just gonna make our own.
Maybe I'm talking to you really here, Luke, but both of you, I guess. But did anyone else get like Lord of the Rings vibes with the door at the end with the fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought for 1 second, are they making like a Lord of the Rings? For one like split, I thought, surely it's not like some sort of Lord of the Rings game, because it reminded me of it's in the first film, isn't it? With the Balrog that comes through
the trailer in
general.
How slow it was, like building up to it.
Yeah,
very Lord of the Rings.
I feel like you touched on it, Troy. If there's a gap in the market, if Elder Scrolls is going to take God knows how many more years until that comes out, you get in there with a game like that and you knock it out of the park. Well, you, like I said, found that gap, so you got a good chance.
Again, though, the only disappointing thing is no gameplay.
Yep.
Well, that's a theme throughout this whole show.
We had the one shot with the magic and the sword, which I was like, okay, yeah, I'm here for that. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Had kind of almost like a Greek looking architecture, or maybe almost Roman looking.
Yeah, kind of like that medieval type.
Yeah, like a lot of people were thinking it was going to just straight up be a medieval game until the magic at the end.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the name?
Avowed. I think it's okay. It's all right.
It doesn't really do it for me.
Nothing special.
Lukewarm,
Yeah.
Not to make a Luke joke.
Yeah,
I guess pun intended. But I don't know. It's not like a powerful name. It's like, what is that?
It's quite throwaway, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, if we look into it, what does that mean? It's like a vow to protect the land or something. Like, it's probably going to be one of those big overarching hero stories.
It's like, I think avowed's one of them like old English type words, isn't it?
Yeah,
from the medieval times. Yeah, something that like no one would say now. But I do think that's got promise, that game, because Obsidian have proved themselves now in the past with so many good games. So I have a lot of faith in that game. I think that will be a good one.
Super excited to see more. Can't wait.
I think we'll have to wait a long time, but
I hope it's not like super far off. Like watch this come out like a month before Elder Scrolls 6. Like it's not even.
I think we're looking at maybe 2022, 2023 for that game.
I think so too. I think so.
So after that, the next game shown. This is an interesting one actually, because I don't know what to make of this game, because it was As Dusk Falls, which was the sort of weird graphical style, wasn't it? It was like they kept showing what was it, like cardboard cutout type characters? Almost?
They kind of showed a bit of the art like before the lady drawing it, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, hey, did you forget to animate this game or something? And I was like,
and then they had that really strange moment where it was kind of freaky actually. She opens the door and her eyes just kind of go like that and look up, and it's like, oh, that's weird.
It was a little too herky-jerky.
Yeah.
But like also painted or something at the same.
It was strange.
I don't know.
I think the most interesting thing about this game for me, and I guess maybe for you as well, Luke, because I know you're a big fan of Quantic Dream with Detroit.
Yep.
I love that.
That's the developers of this game.
I love that Detroit game.
Well, headed by the former lead developer of Quantic Dream anyway. I don't think it's actually Quantic Dream, but it's a lot of the people that worked on Quantic Dream games in the past, like Heavy Rain and things like that. So that's the only thing that piques my interest, because I always think, well, if they're making it, the people that made that, then it's probably going to be at least all right, a decent story.
Yeah, it's guaranteed to have a good story.
Not sure about the graphical style. We'll have to wait and see on that one. It was a bit strange.
Yeah, but I love Detroit, to be fair, Become Human. Yeah. So
one of my favorites. Yeah, so good.
I'm open.
Maybe give that one a go.
I'm open.
I want to replay that again. There's so many like outcomes in that game I didn't get.
Yeah, so I completed it myself. I've watched a few people play like live streams of it, and just so many different avenues they went down compared to me. And it's like,
yeah, it's interesting.
There's another playthrough, definitely.
They're definitely good games. Again, so the next thing they showed was probably, again, a very disappointing thing for me, and maybe for you too as well. So they did a weird sort of trailer with Hellblade 2, but they literally showed nothing of it. And it was like...
That was so, like, just infuriating.
Like,
they spent all their money on the first fancy trailer, and then we get to the showcase, and the guy was like, with the ponytail, was like, yeah, I mean, we're making Hellblade. We already knew that.
And it's set in Iceland, and it's like, right, and... like, okay, I mean, that's cool, I guess, but can we actually, like, see something of the game, because that was the game it looked really good. It was like, wow, this looks like a God of War competitor.
Yeah, we were talking like, what are they going to do to like have a nice third person RPG, or not RPG, but like action adventure game? Yeah. They didn't show us anything like that to make us any more excited.
No. And the thing about that game is as well is what they showed at the Game Awards, that was apparently running in engine, wasn't it? So that is actually what the game would look like, which is amazing. I mean, if that's what it looks like for the whole game, then I think we're in for a treat visually with that game. It's just disappointing.
Gameplay demo would have been amazing.
That's probably. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, when I look online, that was one of the most disappointing things. Hellblade 2, the fact that there was, it wasn't there.
I must admit, I thought we were going to get more than just someone stood there essentially saying, like Troy has said, "It's coming." Yeah, it's coming. Here you go.
Yeah,
it was weird. It was like 3 minutes of that. Like he was kind of just like walking around the fact that he didn't have anything to show.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
He honestly really didn't say anything.
Yeah, he really didn't.
My live chat was roasting him for the ponytail on the top of his head. It's great.
I'd say the one good thing about that game is, though, that I heard from the one decent thing from what he said was when he said about mapping the entire of Iceland for the game or something.
Oh yeah, well,
which makes me think
Unreal 5? Question
mark? Yeah, they are. Yeah. Which makes me think the game's a way off.
Yeah, well, that game has the crazy, or that engine has the crazy like scanned asset thing, so they can make it as realistic as they want to scan.
Yeah,
but what made
that'd be cool.
It makes me think that the game's going to be a lot bigger than the first one, which is good. I want it to be on an epic. I want that game to be like basically. I don't like saying it like copying, but I want it to be I want it to basically be Xbox's God of War, because it's got the potential to be that. So, and I really enjoyed the first one. I thought the first one was great. So,
and again,
God of War with a female protagonist that should sell well.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%. And again, though, we have to wait to see more.
Yeah.
2020 is not our year. Not for games.
Definitely not. So the next show, they showed that Psychonauts 2 game, which that was I felt like I was on drugs watching that trailer.
That trailer was way
so
too
flashy
long.
And like
it was way too long.
Oh, do you know what else? I felt like I was watching a late 60s Beatles video or something.
Yeah,
it was so trippy and like
I've never watched a late 60s Beatles video.
You know what I mean? But you know when the Beatles went a bit, they were experimenting a little bit, weren't they? And they went a bit, crazy.
Yeah, like late 60s, early 70s.
So it felt like something they'd make. But I don't know. I've not really got an
singing,
interest
of course. That was
cool. I gotta say, I enjoyed that little song.
I think Tim Schafer might be like secretly really crazy. Every time I see him, he looks like he's planning up some game that only he wants to play, but he's going to sell it regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I know that it was a popular game in the past. Like, I never played it, so I don't know what it plays.
Me neither.
Like or anything. I've heard the name tons of times, Psychonauts, but I've never.
Looks like a Ratchet and Clank type.
It looks like Ratchet and Clank, but 10 times worse.
Yeah.
To me, I'd rather play Ratchet and Clank any day.
Honestly.
But actually, it's funny. The next announcement would be one for Perks, wouldn't it?
Oh, the Destiny stuff.
Destiny 2. He's a massive fan of Destiny. Obviously, the announcement that every single expansion is going to be free in Game Pass, and the new expansion.
What?
As well.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I breezed over that. I guess I completely checked out at that.
Yeah, every expansion.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Destiny doesn't do it for me.
No. I was kind of like, it's an old game. I've played it before. It's in my library.
It's good though. I think that's one advantage of having Game Pass. That's a great thing to have in Game Pass, isn't it? Something like that.
That makes me really interested. Does that work on PC too? PC
I
Game
would
Pass?
imagine so. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I wonder how that translates.
I don't know if they said that or not.
Steam.
And they're obviously an enhanced version of the game as well, so it'll be 4K 60, all that stuff. So, but I think that's really interesting because to me, it's like, is Bungie and Microsoft and Bungie getting back into bed together?
Why not? I mean, they're still right next to each other, like where they actually are.
I'll say it, and
physically,
as we know,
Destiny are like right by each other. Yeah.
Well, as we know, Destiny this generation's been all PlayStation. So, and now obviously Activision's not there anymore. Have Microsoft made some sort of deal with them again? Maybe
I think, we might see more of an Xbox partnership with Activision out because they're the ones that seem to be triggering these Sony deals,
Wouldn't it be interesting if Xbox tried to buy them again?
I wouldn't be mad.
I'd be happy because I'd be like, right, 343, go away, get Bungie back on Halo. That's what I'd be saying.
Would Bungie want to be back on Halo?
Perfect world.
Probably not. Probably
Feels like
not.
they wouldn't.
That's what I'd want them to be back on. I'd want the old Halo back. Give me the old Halos back. Give me Halo 1 to 3.
Bungie just didn't want like the pressure of doing Halo anymore.
Yeah.
Like it got too big. They got too big where they couldn't do any new ideas.
Yeah, I can imagine that the pressure as well from Microsoft on that would be huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
absolutely.
After that, wasn't it like the whole xCloud thing?
Oh yeah,
xCloud a bunch.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I skipped over a lot of the xCloud stuff because I feel really bad for that because we're doing a review of the show, but I don't know. I don't really care about xCloud personally. I don't care about streaming games.
Phone? Yeah.
No, not interested. Just not interested. Have
you been hearing the rumors that Xbox Live is going to be like free?
I did hear them rumors.
Yeah, heard them.
I think we discussed it on the.
Yeah.
We thought maybe it would happen, but it didn't. So
yeah, they didn't announce that, and they just hammered down on xCloud.
Well, the 12-month subscription has gone, hasn't it? As an option.
Yeah.
For Xbox Live now.
It has, which makes me think that maybe they do have something to announce in this August show about that. Possibly. I think it'd be a smart move. Obviously, we talked about that, making it free, but I don't know about the xCloud. I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing it because I do think it's, a lot of people and more people are getting into streaming every year. I get that. But for me, it will never be the best way to play games.
Does it interest you, Troy?
I want to say that it does, but like just having another subscription for games when I won't use it that much. It's like when I'm out, I'm doing stuff. I'm not like waiting somewhere, like trying to play whatever Forza 3 on my phone. It's like how are the controls even going to translate from this to this? I know you can use a controller, but if you're that guy with a controller mount for your phone,
there's not many people
around,
do that.
You're going to get a lot of strange looks from people. People are going to look at you very strangely.
It's as weird as like people in those face shields. You seen those?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Everyone wearing a mask.
Actually.
Yeah, it's always like some weird looking dude in the face shield. It's never like some like super hot lady rocking a face shield.
Yeah, just some weird guy with his face shield.
Just a weird guy
and his controller with his phone. Yeah.
Well, I was at the hairdressers today actually. So I got the people were wearing face shields there, so understandably. So but it's pretty weird to see people in those face shields, isn't it?
It is.
I go for the mask because you look like an assassin or whatever.
Yeah. I always think Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
with
the mask.
Kind of does. Maybe I'll get a yellow one.
Do it, Scorpion.
Yeah. So after the Destiny stuff, showed was it Stalker 2, which that was kind of like the post-apocalyptic looking game, which I actually thought looked good from what we saw. It looks promising. Anyway.
I mean, I like the tone of the trailer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
post-disaster Chernobyl.
think I played the first Stalker back in the day. Wasn't that like the original
PC,
Xbox?
wasn't it? I think it was on PC. Maybe it was on the original.
Was it?
I know it was on PC. Stalker's a big PC game.
I'm just looking actually on the article. It says after being a PC only series for so long, but maybe it was on the original Xbox before becoming a PC exclusive. I'm not sure.
Let's finally come to console. It's a long-awaited sequel, but yeah.
The first one is on PC.
Yeah, it says it in the article. It gave me those sort of eyes. Metro. It looked like Metro.
It looks like Metro and kind of like Half-Life almost.
Yeah. That looked promising. I think that got a lot of traction. I think it was the second most watched trailer after Halo, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of interest in that. So if they've got some sort of exclusivity with that, even if it's time, then...
Well, it did intrigue me, so it did its job to pique my interest.
I like how they did the reveal, how it was like, what game is this? What game is this? What game is this? Oh.
Yeah.
Stalker. Cool.
Exactly.
Instead of being like, oh, I know exactly what this is. It was a good trailer. Good trailer.
I agree.
Yeah, some of the other ones now, we can probably skip through a little bit quicker with these ones because a lot of them are...
Yeah, I ain't playing Tetris. So.
Tetris
Effect, oh my god. And that was like the longest trailer.
Yeah, I mean, they had like the people on the controllers, like the happy faces.
Yeah.
And
oh my god!
I hate trailers like that.
None of them look like they're actually playing anything.
No.
Let's all do it.
I will say, even though the trailer wasn't the best, I will say
God.
that game is meant to be
Music.
really good.
Tetris with music?
Yeah, you're selling me, mate. I don't care if you tell
I'm
me.
not saying usually.
I
I'm
ain't
just
playing
saying that. No, I'm just saying that I can see why they did it.
Cool.
I can see why they put it in the event because I know it's popular on PlayStation.
Hey, I know. We can film ourselves playing Tetris if you want. We can get in the next reveal. Just
Yeah,
let's do it. I think we should do a mock of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Tetris mixed with music, which the music's probably cool, but
I think it's a good addition. Good addition to Game Pass for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're all the thing about this whole show is they're all good additions to Game Pass, aren't they? I mean,
yeah,
really. They also showed that Warhammer game. It was kind of like it looked like
Dark Tide. Yeah,
like a Left 4 Dead.
It looked like
clone,
Left 4 Dead. I didn't make that connection. Totally did.
Yeah. It's kind of just a 4-player survival game. We've seen these all before. Nothing interesting for me.
I'm just wondering how close it's going to be to Vermintide.
I remember that game. I played that game a little bit.
Game was pretty hard.
Them games are pretty good, to be fair, but I've seen too many of these type of games to get excited about them. These sort of 4-player survival.
Hordy, swarmy.
Yeah, kind of like Horde. It's like...
what I didn't like about Vermintide. It was just they'd throw so many enemies at you. It was just like, all right.
Vermintide was all with the rats, wasn't it? It was like the rat enemies.
Yeah. So what does Dark Tide mean?
I have no idea.
Shadow.
I've got to be honest. I'm not
agents. Yeah.
Not a big Warhammer guy.
Me neither.
No, same.
Yeah, no interest in that really.
Luke, what do you think about that one? Anything or?
To be honest, mate, no, not really. Yeah, some things just don't really interest me, and that was one of them, unfortunately. But I'm sure there'll be people out there who, do find it interesting.
Can we go on to the next game that's probably got the stupidest name? The Gunk.
Which one?
The Gunk.
The Gunk. I don't like that name.
And the weirdest art style.
Yeah.
The short, little chubby people.
Yeah, it's like a 3D action adventure game, but again, it just doesn't interest me that at all.
Solve puzzles in toxic sludge.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. That doesn't sound fun to me at all.
Is that the tagline?
It's in the article anyway.
It's in the article, yeah.
I don't even like solving puzzles not in sludge.
Yeah.
Using a Hoover-like gauntlet. Yeah, it sounds terrible. It sounds boring to me. It sounds like a game I wouldn't play.
Not really for me.
One of the trailers in the show where I was like, what? Why am I seeing this?
Definitely. Then I got to say that the next game is one that I definitely probably will play. That's The Medium, which is a horror game.
Mm-hmm.
Looked interesting for sure.
Yeah, that looked really good actually. I think I got like Silent Hill type vibes from that.
That was the one with the someone just in normal world, and then the opposite parallel.
The dual
she
thing.
was in hell or something.
They talked about that, didn't they? Saying like, on the series, only the Series X can do this sort of dual world thing, and it's like, okay, we'll see. I guess.
All right, yeah,
yeah. But yeah, I thought that looked interesting.
I think it seems like almost like a tech demo. Like, haha, we can do this. But I'm just I got to see how the interactions actually work in between the realms, because they didn't. The two worlds. They didn't show off a ton of it, but like the whole demon attacking her in one, where she has to like run in the other one, and just how they parallel the environments. That seems interesting.
Yeah,
to me.
That does. That does look. Now that is a game that piqued my interest because it's something different. So I'd definitely like to see how that plays on.
Another game actually.
What can we compare that to? Like, there's been nothing like that before.
No,
not really. Not off the top of my head, anyway.
Definitely looks unique, but I'll definitely play that. I think that's coming day one on the Series X, or I think it's only on the Series X. I'm not 100% sure on that. Well, I think it will be, because I don't think it'll be able to do that dual worlds thing on the normal Xbox.
So they say.
But actually, the next game, just before we're near the end, but the next game, actually, this surprised me. This Crossfire X game, it actually looked pretty interesting. Yeah,
it kind of looked like almost like a Call of Duty campaign sort of deal.
Yeah. And, as we know, Remedy are making the campaign, who obviously made like Alan Wake and Control. So I think that's got potential to be really good, personally.
It looked good.
I think that looked good.
Looked like a big blockbuster type, Yeah. Big events, stuff like that.
It did remind me of Call of Duty. It kind of looked like a Call of Duty trailer, didn't it? That
totally
sort of
did.
Over the top action.
Badass music, just boom, boom, boom.
That's definitely one that, I'll look out for that because that looks good. But right, we'll get on to probably your favorite part of the show, Luke. Right at the end, nice little tease.
Which you called, Sud. You were like, they're going to end it with this,
I thought they would. I thought they would, definitely.
I must admit,
and they
though,
did. So
yeah, it was good, but I mean, it wasn't that great, was it? I mean,
no, because they didn't show anything.
As soon as I heard Stephen Fry's voice, I was just like, well, Fable. And then I was like, yeah, that's good. Finally, the worst kept secret is official. And then it was just nothing really after that, was it? Just that, Tinkerbell fairy thing.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was funny.
Quite funny, you know. But
so much is CGI though. It's like I can't tell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like when they panned on the river, you know, we had all that detail. I feel like that was probably the biggest representation of what the art style will look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't look cartoony. It looked somewhere in betwin, like sort of Disney inspired and realistic, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the art style they've gone with. I like the fact that they seem to know that people don't want it to be exactly like the first. They want it to look a bit better than that. So they've gone, right, well, we can't have it looking like the first Fables, but at the same time, we need to keep a little bit of that style in the game so that people don't go, it's not unrecognizable from Fable.
Yeah. They're trying to evolve it, if that's the case, aren't they, really? And trying to still have, you know, what made it special in the first place in there at some point. But I don't know. Like I said, we didn't really get much other than worst kept secret is finally announced. So
I thought the trailer worked pretty well with the whole fairy and it getting it by the toe. It's like that's Fable. Like, you want that sort of humor, don't you? In the game, that's what you want. Like,
it definitely set the tone between like it's a fantasy world, but also like here's this big toad. So I feel like the darker areas will be actually like beautiful in their own right, just because of Playground Games just designing worlds.
Yeah, they make great games.
They they do.
They do. So
absolutely.
I do have a lot of faith in them to make a really beautiful looking game. It's funny, do we think then you will be able to kick chickens? Because I think you will be able to kick chickens after seeing that trailer.
Well, it's it's a classic of Fable, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's got to be in there, hasn't it? You know,
did you ever play Kingdom Come Deliverance? In that game, you punch chickens and they just...
I did play that game.
You just pick up the chicken and just put it in your backpack. Beautiful.
Yeah, I should really like that, actually.
I really like that game. Yeah, it was hard.
Not just the punching chickens. He really liked the game,
No,
I should mean.
Yeah. Although that was quite a funny part of the game as well. But what do we think then with because I mean when it showed the shot of the Fable, sort of the splash screen with Fable on it, and you saw like the castle in the back, it was like, yeah, that's what I want to see. I want the game to be like that big. I want it to be big. I want it to be bold. I want it to be
massive cities like that.
Yeah, it's just a shame we didn't get to see a bit of that. I would have liked them to go into the city maybe. I had a trailer.
This whole event like has me like, all right, cool, but I want gameplay. Yeah, cool, I want gameplay though. The almost all of it. Yeah. And Fable was just like, you're just thinking in your head, what is this going to look like? Like from actually behind the player with a sword, walking around. I want to know what we're doing. I want to know if there's branching quests, if it's linear, just what's going on. We need some leaks.
Yeah. Exactly. I basically agree with you. Like the whole show, it was just like you wanted more and wanted more gameplay specifically, but we just didn't get it, and we didn't get it in the last one when they said they were going to reveal gameplay for things, and I don't know, a little bit disappointing.
So I guess the final thing, I guess we should probably just wrap up what we think about the whole the show as a whole. I mean, personally, I think just to sort of say what I think, I look at this show in two ways. One way, I think it was a terrible show for the next console, because if you're thinking between a PS5 and a Series X, why would you bother getting a Series X? Nothing in that show looked next gen, really, did it? To me, really. I mean, you can't tell by CGI trailers. I'm sure some of the games they won't run on Xbox One, but I think it was a really poor showcase for the new console itself. However, I do think as a show for Game Pass, it was probably a success, because I don't think anyone can now deny the value of Game Pass, really. Yeah, every single one of those games in Game Pass.
It was a big ad for Game Pass. It should have been called the Game Pass Showcase, right?
Yeah, it should have. Yeah,
it probably should. It probably should. And to be honest, if they did call it that, it probably would have been like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 show, because how can we would have known?
Yeah, we would have known what we were going to get instead of being like, we're going to show off games. No, we're going to show off game trailers.
So I come away from this thinking, I don't really know whether Microsoft are weakened or strengthened from this showing. I don't know, because part of me thinks, will they be weaker because they've not highlighted the Series X?
I feel like they're weakened.
Did you not think, though, a lot?
I feel like a lot of people after watching that probably shifted to PlayStation and Sony. I don't know. I
don't know, because I think Game Pass will be a big thing for them.
I don't know, but they had no big blockbuster, you need this console. You don't need PlayStation. None of that.
That's true.
And like, did you guys see the live chat after the show? It was just F's.
Yeah, it was
F's in the chat. L's, lots of L's. So yeah, their image for the future definitely took a little tank.
What's your overall thoughts then, Troy?
Underwhelming. I say there's a few standouts, obviously Fable, Halo, but yeah, it was a little bit of. Once again, I feel just lukewarm about it. It was super medium. It was just like they could have done a lot more to actually satisfy what we wanted to see, and I feel like they were just out in left field of what people wanted. I don't think they delivered on that at all.
I'd go along with that.
I will say that one final thing is I think it's quite obvious that both companies are going in completely different directions. Like PlayStation are going down the direction of next gen. It's a new console. You get new things on it. Traditional sort of, how a lot of people like to play their games traditionally. Moving on to next gen. Whereas Microsoft, to me, I think they're just going in a different direction. They're gearing more towards PC. They're gearing more towards
software side.
Software and
selling subscriptions.
I think we're too early to be saying that Microsoft are doomed or anything silly like that, because I do think they've got over 10 million subscribers on Game Pass. That's a lot of revenue. It's a lot of money, and I think they'll have a lot more subscribers by the end of the year, especially with all these games going to be on Game Pass. So that's the one thing they have over Sony, I'd say, is the first party's been on Game Pass. But then again, Sony's has the strength of their first party games are just
being better. Yeah,
better, unfortunately, at the minute.
Yeah,
and the proof's not the proof's in the pudding with Xbox. We still don't, until they prove they can make AAA quality, high quality games, people are still going to be questioning them. So
I feel like we've been saying this since 2015, like the exact same thing. I'm loyal to Xbox because of 3 games. The Halo, the Gears,
Halo, Forza, Gears.
Forza. Yeah. It's like we gotta get out of that bubble finally for Xbox.
I agree.
It's almost tiring. We kind of touched on that before. We're not expecting much, and we shouldn't have.
Do you think though we are? Do you think we're not? I'm not sure that we're going to necessarily the audience that Microsoft's looking for, though, in a way. Like, I think we're looking. We are more probably the PlayStation audience, aren't we? Really, the way we like to play games. I'd say us 3.
Especially the games we like.
Yeah, we like to play the big blockbuster story linear games. Whereas I don't know, you've got to think there's a lot of younger people in us that might think Xbox is for me because I just play my Fortnite or I play Call of Duty on my Xbox with my mates, and Game Pass is just an added bonus for them to play the odd game. So maybe it's just they're going in different directions, and we should just accept that they're probably both going to do pretty well next gen, to be honest with you. I think PlayStation will obviously reign supreme again, but I think Microsoft will have a better generation.
I'm past the point of caring, in the sense of like, I don't care how well Xbox or PlayStation does like against each other. I just want them both to be decent, so that when I do end up going to play games, that I have a good experience, like back in the day when we were younger, it might have been a bit more like, I want Xbox to outsell PlayStation sucks and all that. It's like, past those days.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things,
But that's why I think both will do well. I do, genuinely.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we just had one though, and they could just do whatever they wanted? They didn't have somebody to like balance them out. It's good that we have both, but PlayStation is looking miles ahead right now for sure.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I think it's looking like PlayStation probably will win. Well, I think they were going to win anyway, but it seems like there might be a bit of a gap between them and Xbox after that, in my opinion. But that does bring an end to the show. So thanks for listening as ever, and let us know your thoughts in the comments on what we've touched on today. You can follow the podcast on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at CheckReachPod. You can also listen to the podcast on any audio platform, and if you do, please leave us a nice review and pass on the pod. You can also follow THC on YouTube and social media. Where can people find you, Troy?
Just subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Troy Chriest, TROYCHRIEST. We're almost to 7,000. Go drop a comment.
Yeah, definitely follow him. Help him get to 7,000. He produces great content, so definitely check that out. And you can follow me and Sud on social media. Where can people find you, Sud?
Yeah, so it's just on Twitter for me, so @David10Spud.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram @Leld, LEL3Ds, add a 9 in the end for Instagram. Anyway, thanks for joining us again, Troy. We really appreciate it. And
as always, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. We hope to get you on some more future podcasts as well if you want. Chat something that isn't Xbox.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
I bet. But yeah, everyone have a good week, and we'll be back next week to discuss some more gaming news. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.